I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and you'll get a feel for what's ahead of you for this morning here. I was just out of college. I didn't know, or I'd never heard of anything like yoga or what was involved in meditation. But I went to a Barnes & Noble bookstore in Wilmington, Delaware one time. And as I went in, there was a shelf, I remember very clearly, that had certain books up here. And one of them, you know how they jump out at you? One of them jumped out, and it was by Jess Stern. And it was called Yoga, Youth, and Reincarnation. All those, except for youth, all those were strange to me. So I looked through a couple of pages, and I bought it. I decided that that was what I wanted and needed to hear and read about. So I started teaching myself, and the book had stick figures, no pictures, just pictures of a teacher who was demonstrating the postures. And so that was what I had. I didn't have any photographs to really see like you do today. You know, you go this website and you see photos, or you see graphics, you know, explaining and showing what the postures were like. So I started teaching myself, and then I said, I sure would like to have a teacher to show me whether I'm doing these right or wrong. So in answer to that, the universe had me go up this street back and forth from work in Wilmington, Delaware. I would drive and I would see this sign. It said Shivananda. And I said to myself, what is Shivananda? So I said, I'll stop and see if I can find out. I'll stop and knock on the door. And every time I stopped, the door was locked. Nobody was there. Nobody could tell me what Shivananda meant. And there was no Google at the time. That was ancient history, you know. So one day, instead of being during the week after school, I used to teach. Well, it was a Sunday. I started driving. And I went by this Shivananda building. And lo and behold, there was a gentleman, very loving, kind gentleman, happy, and he opened the door. And he was only there that day just to do some bookkeeping. And he welcomed me in, and then I found out what Shivananda was all about. It was a center, a yoga center, and not only just teaching yoga, but the philosophy of yoga, meditation, satsangs, where you just get together on Sundays in the evening and you pray or meditate or chant. And so I got to find out what yoga was all about through him. He was my first teacher, and his name was Bharat, or Yogi, Professor Bharat Gajar. And that's where my yoga started, in the sense of having a teacher like I had asked for. There he was all this time, and I persisted, and I'm so thankful. He's been a blessing to me, and as a result of being a blessing to me, you're being blessed by what he's taught me. And everything he's taught me has stayed with me up until this time, and that's been like 55 years ago. He introduced me to a lot of other yoga students. We all got together several times a week, just blessings after blessings. And so, as a result, I've been able to share with my husband the yoga postures and the philosophy, and with other students all these years, on television, through my books, and, you know, lectures, etc. I'm just very blessed to be able to share yoga. Yoga is union. It means union. It means pulling in the mind, the body, and spirit into awareness, into conjunction, into harmony. So many, many people have been healed through the classes that I've taught. And it's because their determination and their persistence and their diligence and their desire to learn more, to help themselves, that's been the healing for them if they've needed healing. And there are postures that have helped students who've had back pain, people who've had screws in their neck for some reason or another. There are postures that have helped people who have, or women who have pelvic recreative problems, and all kinds of situations, physical situations, getting to learn to meditate and to be quiet. Learning how to be quiet and to receive and to hear and to listen to God's voice through God mind, God channeling. People have like characteristics they want changed, and it only happens through listening, through meditation, through deciding to change. And what's working for you or what's working for them. And it happens. It's a gradual thing that happens through your practice. And you can practice 5 minutes a day or 5 minutes a week. But it all depends on you, what you want to put into your growth, your healing, your spiritual growth, your physical growth, your emotional growth. It all depends on us, how much time we want to put into change the world, change yourself, change this, change that. It all happens through your desire in your heart to do that. Yoga, you don't require a lot of space to do yoga. And basically, we're going to do that here today. We're going to do some pranayama techniques and talk about mudras a little bit. And hopefully, our program will also involve a little bit of mantras. Mantras are sacred syllables, sacred sounds. Very, very healing. Very healing. There's spiritual things that happen for you. There's electromagnetic currents that start running for you. Changes your spiritual outlook on life, your spiritual outlook on people, other people. You see people differently. When I say differently, you see people as yourself. You don't see people as crazy. You don't see people as harmful or hurtful. You see people as yourself, as your Christ self. It just changes you. Just changes you. So when you chant a mantra, you are raising yourself up, you're raising your consciousness up so that anything that's negative, any kind of negative energy that you've been embracing is lifted up away from you. You don't have to do anything except be in the spirit of the chant or the mantra. Like I said, they're sacred syllables and sacred words. You don't even necessarily have to understand what the interpretation is. It's different for everybody. So there's a lot of power that can come from us as a group, chanting some of the mantras that I have that we'll share. That's nice. That I'll share with us today. You can put your feet on the floor, maybe put your notebook under your chair or whatever. And we're going to be breathing in a certain way. And that way is not through the mouth, okay? We're going to learn to breathe through our nostrils, so breathing in and exhaling through the nose. And that'll make your shoulders just relax right away, just one time. But if you breathe that way, at least 3 times here, we'll get started. I was given a mantra. You can close your eyes if you want. I was given a mantra back some, like I said, some 50, some 55 years ago, and it's still with me today because it's very powerful. I don't chant every day, but when I need to, or when I feel I need to, or to get in a special place, this is one of them. Okay, close your eyes, please. Yes, good. Deeply breathing through your nose. And when you exhale, gently try to pull your abdomen in so that your lungs really get collapsed, so that you can inhale again. Very good. Wonderful. And you can repeat in your mind the words or the syllables that I'll share with you. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 You can say this out loud with me if you know by now, or you can say it in your mind and your heart. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And then Om. 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 Go inside your closet, your spiritual heart, and just reside there as we're quiet. And take 3 more deep breaths for yourself through your nose and out through your nose. And when you're ready, you could turn the lights up a little bit. Not fully. It's good. Yeah. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. There are many physical things that happen to us when we chant mantras. If you feel like you'd like to share what happened to you during this chanting, you can just raise your hand or stand up. It's very helpful when you hear. So, yes, everyone is different.
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like I lost a little bit of pain because I was relaxing.
Yes. Yes, that's one of the biggies. Yeah. You, when you're chanting, you can't think of anything else pretty much if you stay with it. And so you forget about what you thought was important, which was thinking or worrying about someone or worrying about a child or worrying about work or not having work. You forget all about that when you're doing it correctly. You can't think about other things when you're trying to breathe, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else before we get moving? Anyone else? No one else had anything they'd like to share? Yes. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you.
I had a sensation in my lower right calf, just run down my leg and kind of out across the top of my foot and release something that just needed to go.
Yes.
So,
exactly. Yes. There are detrimental thought patterns that we have developed, and if we don't let them go, if we don't release them, if we don't surrender them, they get lodged somewhere within us by our choice. Yes. I'll let her go first.
Just felt peace.
Oh, yes.
Just very peaceful.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes, sir.
What do the words mean that you're saying?
Basically, we're saying, Lord, Om Namah Shivaya is Lord. Lord, I surrender my ignorance or my illusions to you. And so when you do that, you're blessed, just like she was saying, how pain had left, feel more peaceful, all right? And as I said earlier, the syllables can mean anything to any of us, all right? Yes, yes, young man?
What is it?
Sanskrit is called Sanskrit from Tibet. Yes. There was a lady here.
Beautiful. When I was doing it, when I closed my eyes, I've had this question of what to do next. And I visualized myself
Yes.
on a mountaintop. And it was clear, and it was like a place that I know where it's at. So I think I'm being shown where I need to start looking for my next chapter.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes.
Mine was an emotion and a sensation, but I was aware of this absolute deliciousness of your voice in me.
Isn't that something? Did everybody hear that?
I didn't want to say that.
That's a blessing. You agree too, huh? Yes.
Your voice is sacred. Just
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Well, I peeked and you had a lot of white light coming out of you. And I'm still seeing it flow out of people's heads and along the wall.
Thank you. Thank you. Does everybody remember when I said if we did it together it would be very powerful?